Welcome back to the Fairfield Blue Devil Dynasty. Last episode we saw this team in their first live action in the spring game, the blue and white game. It was an ugly game for both offenses, over double-digit turnovers combined from both teams. So it was a rough showing for the offenses, but it was great to see the team finally take the field, and now we'll get to see this team very soon take the field for the first time in games that actually matter. But today we'll have a preview of year one so we can get a look at what this team has moving forward. We met some of the top players on this team. Dominique Frederick was one of the players, DeMar Cartwright, Rashawn Gilchrist. A number of players definitely stood out in the first game. Terrence Lake definitely struggled though with 6 interceptions that he threw in the spring game. So going forward, we'll have to see that quarterback battle play out. And to start the year, you'll get to see the starter in a little bit. We'll look now to see who is being redshirted. We have Garrett Bentley, 6'3" true freshman. He doesn't have a big arm at all and definitely struggles as a passer. But as a true freshman, we'll just allow him to sit and hopefully develop moving forward. Aaron Montana is the future at fullback. At wide receiver, only one will be redshirted. We'll keep 6 active, including Rashad Conway. He played pretty well in the spring game. Cooper Price will be the one that redshirts, 5'10", 175. Really struggles in separation, but as a route runner and catching in traffic, he has some nice skill there. At tight end, Sherman Beck, who's one of the standouts from the spring game, he will be redshirting. He's just a straight receiver as a tight end, but hopefully he can develop moving forward. We'll have 2 active. Nathan Reed will be the other one along with Adrian Schaefer. He just is a guy that it would be useful to have 4 years of him as a starter, so that's what we'll have. Joey Summers, he will not be starting at guard along with Eric Stafford. Both of them will be backups if they weren't redshirted, and we can also take the red shirt off of any of these guys if we need to. At defensive end, Darius Black, he's 6'4", 222, great quickness, but right now is very raw as a pass rusher and would be 3rd string, so no reason to blow year of eligibility on that. Tyrone Hopkins, sort of similar. He would be 3rd string at left outside linebacker. He maybe can develop a little bit, not the fastest guy, not the best athlete. No one at middle linebacker or right outside linebacker. No one at corner, free safety, but at strong safety we have true freshman Matt Shaw. He has some good coverage ability, not the best tackler, and a pretty decent athlete, so it'll be nice to have an extra year of eligibility for him. So the only players that were redshirted, they were all true freshmen. Only 2 freshmen were not redshirted. But now we move to the depth chart. Spencer Clay will be getting the opening start. Monte Purcell is listed as the backup, but that is more to allow him to get onto the field for some running packages. Spencer Clay didn't play great in the spring game, but compared to Terrence Lake, definitely played better, so he will get the first shot at starting. We'll see who our opening opponent is in a little bit though. Along the offensive line, you can see all the starters there. Defensive line should be a little bit of a strength. Quentin Arnold and Darius Brady at the ends, and then Tremont Easley and Byron Roach at the tackles. Morgan Shaw, DeMar Cartwright, and Carnell Blackshear are your linebackers. Lewis Blackburn will be the nickel. Rashawn Gilchrist and Brooks Strickland are your opening day starting safeties. Then at kick return to start off the season will be redshirt freshman Tyree Johnson along with Antonio Lawson, and then at punt returner it is also Tyree Johnson as well. Now a look at our schedule. Our first ever game will be on the road in the Carrier Dome as we will take on Syracuse. And week 2 will be at home for the first game ever at home against Toledo. Then follow that up with number 6 Penn State and Saquon Barkley. That'll be a very tough competition. And week 5 we'll travel to Connecticut for an in-state battle, finishing off the year at Pittsburgh, Western Michigan, and then at home against Nevada for senior day. In year 1, we of course will be an independent, so we were able to go out and schedule some interesting teams. 6 of those are MAC teams, potentially our conference for year 2 and moving forward. Now looking at the coaching staff, Dwight Freeney, his first coaching upgrade will be to his pass rushing moves to help our players. Of course, that is what he was known for, so that is definitely a great upgrade to start out. And then Dan Orlovsky, the offense coordinator, his first thing will be ball security and carrying. We're targeting 5 wins in year 1, which will be a tough target to meet, but moving forward, that is a realistic goal to shoot for. And now we'll move into the most exciting part of the Dynasty, especially early on, and that is recruiting. We can see right now, academic prestige, campus lifestyle, and our facilities are definitely the strong points of this university to start out. A lot of definite weaknesses coach prestige, conference prestige because we're not in one right now, championship contender, stadium atmosphere, pro potential, and program tradition. All definite weaknesses. A look at our pipeline states. Right now we have 4: Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Canada. You can see the 35 prospects that we're targeting right now. It's a very concentrated area up in the Northeast. We have 6 prospects from the state of Connecticut, which is good to see. Some nice talent in the state this year, also really nice to see. But to start out, we're going to really try and focus on the Northeast and do our best to get athletes from there before we try and expand out anywhere else, and try and get pipeline states in some of those smaller states like Vermont, Connecticut. We need to keep, especially as our home state, and then states like Pennsylvania, New Jersey, maybe spreading down into Maryland to get a lot of good prospects. Connecticut, you can see, like I said, a lot of nice talent this year. Not normally known for a ton of football talent, but for year one, there are a number of very talented players. You can see the players that we're actually targeting are the 2 stars and below. On the whole, though, we'll be targeting players in that Northeast corridor that are below a certain level, like the low 3 stars and below for the most part. That's where we will have our main targets. You can see 12 seniors right now on the team, though, 6 on offense, 6 on defense, 2 at defensive tackles, so that'll be definitely a big area of concern early on in recruiting. Now we'll get a look at the top 10 prospects. This is not necessarily in any sort of order, just 10 players that I found that I really like. A junior college transfer, he'll enter as a junior. Santonio Houston, a great athlete and can play both sides of the ball. At 6'1", 225 from Vermont, it is Anthony Pollard. He is a good athlete at the linebacker position, can hit hard, can cover a little bit, along with rushing the passer, so a versatile linebacker, and would be a nice player for us to get. Now we have the brother of TJ Cross from Connecticut, 5'8", 169. He is your typical scat back. He has great speed, would be the fastest player on our team if he committed. He has a little bit of receiving ability and make you miss ability, but as a runner, not really sure what he brings. He's more of a gadget player right now. Javon Hamilton, another junior college player. You'll definitely see us target a number of junior college guys. He is from Connecticut, 6'1", 188. He is a pretty good athlete at the free safety position, can cover, and not great a tackler. He could either play deep safety or could play as a nickel, and he would enter as a sophomore. From New Jersey, we have Jermaine Clark, 6'1", 197. He wants to stay close to home, which is nice to see because we can definitely help him out there. He's not the fastest guy, but does have some good quickness. Now a guy with a lot of size is Dustin Bright from Maine. He's 6'3", 189, another guy who wants to stay close to home, a big reason that we're targeting that upper Northeast area. He's a little faster than Clark, but not quite as quick, and can cover a little bit. Jake Robinson from Canada, he is 6'5", 305, found a number of nice offensive line prospects. He doesn't have a ton of interest right now in us, but he is strong, he is quick, and is a balanced blocker from both areas. Joel Thompson, 6'6", 302, he is from New Jersey, and we are the #1 school for him right now. He is looking for playing time, something we can offer to a lot of these prospects. He is another good athlete at the guard position, and would be a great get for us. Craig Martin, 6'3", 312. He's from Connecticut, so another guy from the state of Connecticut, wants to stay close to home and actually fits well with a lot of what we do well so far. He is pretty strong, another good athlete, something that we're really looking for in these tight ends. And then 6'6", 297, so a little undersized for a tackle, from New York is Brian Jennings. He may be the best player on the board right now and would be a day 1 starter if he does commit to us. He is balanced as a blocker with great impact blocking. Now a look at the rest of the board. Just some prospects right now. This isn't final by any means. There are some good players here though. You have Ben Williams, a blocking tight end who could be a very nice player for us. Samuel Robinson, a 3-star outside linebacker who has some good size. You have some more offensive linemen. Brent Daly was one that I really liked. Then some defensive tackles. Not a whole lot available to us, so we'll have to do our best to find someone who can fill that hole and maybe have to develop for a little bit behind the current players on the roster moving forward. You can see 110th in the country right now. Projected for 5th among the independents. Doesn't mean a whole lot. There's no independent title or anything like that. But of course, our first game will be at Syracuse in the Carrier Dome. Kirk Herbstreit is picking the Cuse, which definitely probably a smart decision. They have a whole lot more talent than we do, especially along the offensive side of the ball. They are led by receiver Steve Ishmael. He's 6'2", 209, and an absolute stud at the receiver position. At quarterback, Eric Dungy, 6'4", 222, a good runner and a good passer, so a true dual threat quarterback. And then you also have Irvin Phillips, more of a slot receiver type guy who has good speed and some good receiving ability, so it'll be tough to contain this up-tempo offense led by Dino Babers. They have a good amount of speed on offense, which we cannot match physically at all, so definitely be an interesting game. We'll need our offense to come up big in the inaugural game for the University of Fairfield. I hope you did enjoy today's episode. If you did, please leave a like down below. Leave your comments about what is your record prediction for this team in year one. It definitely probably will be a tough season, but if we could get off to a good start by competing heavily against Syracuse, a really good offense, but they do struggle on defense, which could open up some opportunities for us. But like I said, I hope you did enjoy. I will see you for the opening game of the season for these Blue Devils in the next few days, 'cause I'm out.